All right, now we are going to look at Unit 2, Topic 4, still talking about North America, as in the United States and Canada. So, our essential question number 4: what unifying cultural or physical characteristics developed in various regions of North America? So, the first thing that we need to talk about in regards to this question is if we need to find cultural and physical characteristics of regions, then we need to know what a region is. We use that word all the time, but what does it actually mean? So, a region is an area of land that has common features. A region can. Something just hit the wall and it scared me. A region can be defined by natural or artificial features. So, what that means is that language, government, or religion, which are artificial things, can define a region just like physical features can, like forest, wildlife, or climate. So, a region just needs to have one thing in common. So, if a place or if an area of land all speaks the same language, that can be considered a certain type of region. Or if one piece of land is all under one government, that can be a region. Or if one piece of land is all, I don't know, tropical rainforest, that's the climate they have, that can be considered a region. So it's just an area of land that has at least one common feature. And so we are going to look at the physical and cultural characteristics of the regions in North America. So first, we are going to look at the regions of Canada. Canada typically has 5 regions. You'll see some maps that are a little bit different, but you have the Northern Territories, the West Coast, the Prairie Provinces, the Central Canada, and the Atlantic region. So, the physical characteristics of these regions. The Atlantic provinces, they're characterized by fishing, farming, forestry, mining, cool winters and cool summers. Central Canada, this area right here, so the one we just looked at, the Atlantic provinces, right here, the Atlantic region, the orange things on the side right there. Central Canada, this region right here, makes up, or half of Canada's population actually lives there. And most of the people that live in Canada are going to live in that area. They're still pretty cold winters and warm, humid summers. They are a little bit warmer than the Atlantic region. The prairie provinces, so right here, their physical characteristics, they have a lot of energy resources. So that's like oil and natural gas and coal and things like that. Very fertile farmland, so they have good soil. And they have mostly dry and cold winters with hot summers. So not a whole lot of rainfall, and it's not very humid there. The West Coast, which is also called British Columbia because there's just one province, it's the other very populated region of Canada. Lots of active ports there. I'm in a pretty temperate climate. The climate of British Columbia is about like the climate of Oregon or Washington in the United States, if you've ever been to any of those states. And then the Northern Territories, up here at the very top, that actually makes up most of Canada's land, but very few people actually live there because they have super long winters and short, cool summers. It does not get warm up there at all. The physical characteristics of that region, it's ice, it's tundra, it's rocky. You would not really want to live there. But they have gold, lead, copper, diamonds, and zinc. There are people that do live there and they mine those areas, but the weather, the climate is a pretty harsh climate. So those are the physical characteristics of those regions. The cultural characteristics of those regions are a little more like this. So again, the Atlantic provinces, right here on the edge. Their cultural characteristics, oil and gas based economy, lots of tourism because it's very historic. This is actually when Canada was settled. This is where it started. It started on that Atlantic coast. And about a third of the population actually speaks French. So people like to go there. It's very touristy. It's very historic. It's kind of like our New England area with Washington, D.C. and stuff like that. Um, Central Canada, remember, this is where most everyone in Canada lives. Um, Half of Canada's population is what I said. Their cultural characteristics, their economy is based on industry and manufacturing. So that's going to be like factories and things like that. 3/4 of the people that live there actually speak French as their first language. Um, it's very populous. I said that there's a lot of people. It's a leader in new technologies. It's the more advanced region of Canada. It's kind of like our New York or LA, pretty advanced there, and it's very diverse. It's a very diverse region of Canada. The prairie provinces of Canada, right here, the cultural characteristics of it, there's a large Ukrainian culture. There's also a large Aboriginal population, which means like we would call them Native Americans or Indians, but there's also a large population of Aborigines in the prairie provinces. And their economy is based on grains, oil, and natural gas. The West Coast, British Columbia, again, all the way over here, the second most populous region. Their economy is based on forestry, and they have a fairly large Asian community there. And then the Northern Territories up here, it's very sparsely populated, not a lot of people. And it's very primal. So the people up there are hunting and fishing and trapping to make a living. Some of you may like to hunt and fish, but you probably do it for fun. You don't do it to survive, but the people in the Northern Territories are doing it to survive. So those are the Canadian regions. The way we regionalize the United States, again, we have 5 regions, kind of like Canada, but we have the Northeast, the Southeast, the Midwest, Southwest, and the West. And so let's look at the physical characteristics of those regions. The Northeast, over here, has part of the Appalachian Mountains there. It's very hilly and rocky. Those are the physical characteristics. The Southeast, which is where you and I live, again, there's part of the Appalachian Mountains that come through here. If you've ever been to Tennessee or Kentucky, you've probably been to the mountains. We have the Mississippi River, which is huge economically. We talked about that a couple of topics ago. Coastal plains, so our land is pretty flat. Once you get away from the Appalachian Mountains, this land, the coastal plains, are fairly flat. And then really great farmland, very fertile soil. The Midwest, right here, this large portion there. Large areas covered with forests, some rolling hills, but not really any mountains. Flat, grassy plains, rivers, and the Great Lakes are also there. These are the Great Lakes right there. Wrong thing. The Southwest over here, so Texas, Oklahoma, New Mexico, and Arizona, deserts and canyons, and then part of the Rocky Mountains you'll see come down through New Mexico and Arizona. And then the West, these states over here, you have coastal mountains. There's some beaches on the coast. There are green valleys. There are forests. I mean, I forgot to put this, but there are also deserts. I mean, Nevada, Las Vegas is in the middle of a desert. So there's a lot going on in the West as far as physical characteristics go. So now let's look at the cultural characteristics of regions in North America. This is supposed to say the United States, by the way. I guess I forgot to change that. But the Northeast, again, over here, It's very historic because that this is where America was founded. Um, it contains the economic capital of not just the United States, but the world, which is New York City. A lot of industry. That's generally what its economy is based out of. And there are a bunch of diverse cultures there because this is typically where immigrants land when they come across the Atlantic. So lots of Italians, lots of Germans, um, pretty diverse cultures over there. The Southeast, again, where you and I live, it's considered the most distinct region of the United States, different than all of the others, um, because of its tradition, its hospitality, a lot of religion. It's family oriented, but it's also scarred by its history of slavery and the Civil War, and you can't escape that. That's something that we have to talk about, and so it is the most distinct region culturally within the United States. The Midwest, so right here, culturally, it's characteristic. It's known as the breadbasket. Grain, they grow a lot of grain, a lot of wheat, and a lot of corn in that region. That's what their economy is based off of. This region is characterized by farming and hard work. Um, just farmers working the land. That's kind of what this region is known for. Um, the Southwest, also, the Midwest is known for having strong political opinions as well. The Southwest, over here, Texas, New Mexico, Oklahoma, and Arizona, um, strong Spanish ties, and there are also Native Americans there now. Lots of Native Americans actually live in Oklahoma. And then the West, again, lots going on in the West. So you have national parks, a large Asian culture. They're the leader in the tech industry because of Silicon Valley in California. And the West is also known for a live and let live attitude. Um, Pretty liberal country over there. That's kind of what that means. Live the way you want to live and let other people live the way they want to live, which is pretty different from where we live in the Southeast. People have pretty strong opinions with us. So, those are the regions of North America, and now you should know the physical and cultural characteristics of those regions. So, go ahead and answer essential question number 4. What unifying cultural or physical characteristics developed in various regions of North America?